Welcome everybody. This is the July 2021 HMIS user meeting. You should now be able to see my screen. If you haven't already, please enter your agency name into the chat box so we know who is participating. We have a pretty full agenda today. We have a staff update as well as an update on the agency access application. A couple things we want to go over with you on coordinated entry. We have a quick demo on a new APR dashboard, a new contact form, the usual update on the monthly training webinar. We have a new client consent form, an update on the agency audits, and a Dropbox cleaning process. And then we're going to wrap it up with some BitFocus updates, the agenda for the data and performance management meeting, and some Q&A at the end. Just 1 second. Okay. So first, we are happy to announce that Armando Salazar has joined the HMIS team as an HMIS data analyst. He is in his 2nd week and doing great. So you should pretty soon start working with him directly on tickets. So please make him feel welcome when you start working with him. So as we've kind of been talking about over the last few months, we've developed and the COC board has approved an agency access policy. And the policy states that agencies that are not required to participate in HMIS due to funding that they receive and do not have projects that are homeless housing projects, so that's emergency shelter, transitional housing, rapid rehousing, permanent supportive housing, or other permanent housing. Those agencies must submit an agency access application in order to be given access to participate in HMIS. And this includes agencies that are currently participating in HMIS now. So the HMIS access application is available now. So if your agency does not have a housing project and does not receive funding that requires HMIS participation, please submit this access application if you haven't already. And the access working group has been developed and is going to be meeting in July to start reviewing those applications. All right, so next up is the new coordinated entry prevention assessment tool. So first I wanted to provide a little background on this, and then I'm going to walk everybody through what this looks like in HMIS. So any COC or ESG funded homelessness prevention projects are required to receive referrals through the coordinated entry system. And so that's why we are developing this new process. And so the process will impact access points as well as homelessness prevention projects. Access points should continue to enroll clients into the correct coordinated entry projects, so either individuals or families, depending what type of household it is. And then they'll also have to do a prevention assessment tool for the household. And then homelessness prevention projects will run the homelessness prevention coordinated entry waitlist and select clients from that report to serve through their project. This process will not involve matchmakers, so the agencies will kind of be able to complete their own matches through this process. And all of this that I'm going to go over is outlined in the homelessness prevention knowledge base article, which I linked on the slides and will also be in the meeting minutes. So I'm going to show you a flow chart of the details of this first, and then we will get into HMIS. So this is a full flow chart. Access point responsibilities are in orange, which is where I'm going to start. And then homeless prevention agencies are in blue. Okay, so for access points, obviously the household will need assistance. So either they will call 211 and we will refer them to an access point, or the household will reach out to the access point directly. And then the access point will enroll the household in the coordinated entry project as normal. They will enter a current living situation assessment at the time of project entry, and they will also complete the prevention assessment tool. When the tool is completed, the household will receive a score similar to what they get for the VI SPDAT. And if the score is at least 12, then the household will continue through the process. And if it's under 12, they will not be referred through this process. So you would refer them back to 211 or refer them to another homeless prevention project that's not receiving ESG funding. And if that was the case, you would exit them from the coordinated entry project. If they are continuing with the process, you would enter the needs prevention assistance service to signify that the household needs that prevention assistance. So let me show you what this looks like in HMIS. So the household comes to you requesting prevention assistance. You will create their profile as normal for each household member. You will enroll them in the appropriate coordinated entry project, either individuals or families. And then you will go to the the head of household's assessment screen. You only need to complete the VI SPDAT or the prevention assessment tool for the head of household, not for every person in the household. So you'll come to the assessment screen, and then you'll complete both the current living situation assessment and the prevention assessment tool. So the current living situation assessment is here. You'll click on Start. And then, so this is asking where the client is staying normally, so, or right now. So for prevention, they should be staying in housing since you're trying to prevent their homelessness. So in many cases, it'll be a rental with no ongoing subsidy. And then there'll be some follow-up questions asking about their risk of homelessness. So you'll fill out these questions. You can also put in a geolocation if you want, but that's not necessary. You just need to do these fields here. And then you will save the current living situation assessment. And then you'll also do the prevention assessment tool. So you'll click on Start for that. I've already done this, so this is populating with data already, but if this was a new client, this data, you would have to enter all this data. So you put in the date, the assessment location, so this is where you're completing the assessment. And then the address is where they are currently living. And then it has some fields around their rental status and if they have subsidies, if their name's on the lease, that kind of stuff. And then the bottom part of the assessment is the threshold criteria. So these are all yes, no fields, and they all are worth like 2 to 3 points each, depending on the specific field. And so these are what is used to determine the client's score. So you'll complete all this information, click Save, and then that will create the assessment and then the score for the client. So you'll see that this client has 19. So in this case, the client does qualify and can move on through the process. If they did not qualify, like I mentioned, you would want to refer them to other prevention assistance that's not ESG funded. and then you would exit the client from the coordinated entry project. So you click on this exit button here and go through the exit process. Because the client is eligible, you want to enter the needs prevention assistance service to signify that yes, they do need assistance now. So you'll go to the client's provide services screen. And I already did a service, that's just why this is showing up. But if you go to the prevention assistance drop down and choose this service, you'll put in the date that they need the assistance. So as of today, they still need assistance. And then you would submit to apply that service. So that's the process for the access points. It's pretty straightforward. And then so while you're working with these clients, while they're in the coordinated entry project, you should be keeping in touch with these households and making sure they still need assistance. If they don't need assistance anymore, you would exit them from the coordinated entry project. If they do still need assistance, then you will need to enter this prevention assistance service on a weekly basis. And so to see that, you can we have a report to see the clients that are active in the coordinated entry project and have a prevention assessment. So you can run a report of those clients, and then so you can do data entry and add that service. So you'll go to your report library and then the data analysis tab. The report is under the OC training system in the coordinated entry section, and it's called Data Entry Needs Prevention Assistance Service. And you'll click the run button, and then you can check on your filters. I think for this one, there aren't really you need to adjust, but let me check. Yeah, so for this report, you don't need to do any adjustments. You can just come to this screen and run it. And then it will look like this. So this will list all of the clients that are active in the coordinated entry in either coordinated entry project, and have the prevention assessment completed. And so you'll filter, if you're serving both individuals and families, you'll have to filter both of these columns so that you can see all of your clients and provide that service. If you're only serving one or the only other, you just need to filter it for that column. But you'll see your client's name, which project they're enrolled in, their start and end dates, and what their prevention assessment score was. So if any of these clients are still on this report and need prevention assistance, you will go back to the services provided screen like I just showed you and add that needs prevention assistance service again to signify they still need assistance. If they no longer need prevention assistance and they're showing up on this report, you will need to exit them from the coordinated entry project. And if they have become a homeless since you started talking with them, they would need to go through the normal coordinated entry VI SPDAT process. So you'd have to go back, complete the VI SPDAT, and add them to the community queue. So that's the access point process. So now let me go over the homeless prevention process. So this is for the homeless prevention housing agencies. So when the prevention project has a housing opening, they will run the homeless prevention waitlist to see all of the clients that are currently waiting for prevention opportunity. The prevention provider should be selecting the client with the highest score that's available. And then there's a separate service that I'll show you to signify that the client has been referred to a prevention project. So you will provide that service. You also need to enter another current living situation assessment, because with the HUD standards, that needs to be completed every time a coordinated entry event occurs, which is a referral. And then your agency will determine if the household is eligible to be served by your project. If yes, you'll exit them from the coordinated entry project and enroll them in your prevention project. And if no, you would enter that needs prevention assistance service again, so that they can be returned to the prevention wait list. And kind of the other branch of this is, or kind of a reminder, if the client still needs prevention assistance, the access point will again be checking on that household every week, so they can be added back to the prevention wait list. If the household becomes homeless, like I said, they would need to go through the coordinated entry process. So let me go into HMIS again. Okay, so now we'll go over the prevention project functionality. So again, this time you're going to start with a report. So you'll go to your data analysis tab under Orange County System Reports, and you'll run the homelessness prevention coordinated entry waitlist. And for this report, there are a couple filters on here. It depends on your project's eligibility requirements. So for example, there are some prevention projects that only fund clients that are living in a specific city. So if that's the case for your agency, you can filter this report by city here, and you would type in the city. Also, if your project only served individuals or only served families, you could remove either of these projects if it doesn't fit. So for example, if you served individuals, you would want to remove the Family Solutions Collaborative project from here. If you only serve families, you would want to remove the individual, just so you'll only see clients that meet those criteria. And then once you've adjusted your filters, you can run that report. When it runs, it will look like this. So it's a report of all the clients that have the prevention assessment and have the needs prevention assistance service. And so it's showing their basic client information, their name, the program, which coordinated entry program they're in, their start and end date in that project, as well as the access point, their score, and the city that they are located in. And then the rest of this is all of the fields that they completed under the prevention assessment tool. So you'll review this report, make sure you're looking at the assessment score here and looking for the client with the highest score to serve first. Once you find your client, you will return to HMIS and make sure that the client does not have a referral to a prevention project in the previous week. So you'll go to the client's history screen, and you'll look and see if they have that service in the previous week. This client does not. If they've got like a huge history, you can narrow down your display by clicking on the view button here. Change your category, your type to services, and click search again. So this will only show you services the client has received, so you will have fewer results and can make it a little easier for you to look through. If they don't have the prevention referral in the previous week, then you are good to go. So you will go to the client's coordinated entry enrollment, the provide services screen, and then you'll go to coordinated entry event. And click on Prevention Assistance Program and the date that they are being referred and submit. So that is signifying the client has now been referred to a prevention project, and the prevention project will now review. Oh, you also need to complete the current living situation assessment. Can't forget that. So you'll go back to the assessment screen, click on current living situation, and complete that information again in case their location has changed. So once you do that, you will review the household, determine if they are eligible for your project. If yes, you will exit them from the coordinated entry project. So you'll go to this exit screen. And if they are not eligible, then you need to return them to the prevention waitlist. So then you'll need to provide that needs prevention assistance service to signify that they need to be, that they're waiting for housing. And I think that's mostly it. Yeah. So I know that was kind of a lot, and it's showing you information from multiple perspectives, so I think it makes it a little more complicated, but the flow chart kind of will help you navigate through this process, and this is also included in the KB article that I linked on the slides and will also be in the minutes so that you can reference this. Ideally, the access points will start completing the prevention assessment as soon as possible for those clients or households that are at risk of homelessness, so that prevention projects can start receiving these matches as soon as possible. Any questions about the prevention assessment tool?
I have a question. This is Rose.
Hi, Rose.
So I may be kind of like a little rusty on HMIS, but I think, you know, the multiple perspectives was a little bit, a lot to take in. But one of the questions I have is, what if our funding source, based on our funding source, a family qualifies, but the score indicates that they don't qualify? What do you suggest in that scenario?
So you're saying if the score was like below 12?
Correct.
Well, they wouldn't show up on your wait list if they were below 12, because they should be exited from the project already. I think the purpose for that was try to target those with the highest need. But if the pool of clients is small and there aren't enough clients for your opportunities, then the threshold will probably be adjusted. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then a second question, obviously this is not in practice yet, but from start to process until we can pull a family, about how long do you think that would take?
We're hoping that this will be up and running within this month. But it is kind of dependent on the access points, because there's not going to be clients for you to refer if nobody's been entered. Let's see. What is the best way to go about enrolling my HB clients the easiest way? Or is this only moving forward? So the referrals, so this process is only moving forward. So if you have clients already in your homeless prevention projects, then they are fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. This process is only for new referrals moving forward. So if next month you need to, if you have an opportunity in your rapid rehousing project or your homeless prevention project and you need a household to serve, then you would utilize this process. And so instead of trying to find clients the way the prevention projects previously have, which is, you know, whoever comes to their agency first or at the right moment, or you know, whatever process that you've been using, you would use this wait list instead. So it's to try and help streamline the process for you, so that you're not, so that the clients are kind of ready for you rather than you having to try and fill those spots.
Can you tell us, what does it mean by COC funded homeless prevention projects? ESG seems pretty straightforward, but like, for example, we receive CDBG and specifically COVID related. Does that count as COC funded homeless prevention projects?
So our COC does not currently receive COC prevention funding. So we included that just in case we receive some in the future, but as of now, we don't have it. So at the moment, it's just ESG funded prevention.
And then does that count for ESG COVID funding as well, or ESG funding non-COVID?
It sounds like it's both.
Thank you.
All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, but if anyone thinks of anything, we can definitely come back to this. I'm gonna keep moving. So this next one, this will be a lot shorter and less confusing. Everyone, don't worry. So this is specific for coordinated entry for homeless clients. The traditional coordinated entry, if you will. So we were getting some questions from agencies about the easiest way to see all of the clients that had pending matches to their agency for coordinated entry. So we created this report to help you see those clients easily. So I will show you that quickly in the training site. So when you run this report, you want to make sure you are under either the County of Orange or Family Solutions Collaborative, depending if you're participating in individual or family coordinated entry or both. So you'll go to your report library and the data analysis tab again, and Orange County system reports. And the report is called Pending Households Matched to Housing Opportunities. And so while it's loading, this report is showing clients that have been matched to your project, but they have not been approved or denied. They're still waiting for your decision. So most of the filters on here you can ignore. You will mostly be interested in these bottom two. So you can filter the report by either agency or program or both if you would like. So if you only want to see matches at your agency, you would enter your agency's name in the filter and select it. You can also do it for specific programs if you would like. And then you can run your report. And as usual with all reports in Looker, you can click on your little gear over here and click download in order to see this report in Excel. But I'll show you what it looks like. So you'll get a report that looks like this. You'll have your IDs and client name. your agency name, if you put in that filter, the project within your agency and the project type. The reassigned date is the date they were matched to you. Referring agency is who the match came from. So this should usually be County of Orange or Family Solutions Collaborative. The client's status will either be pending or pending in process. So pending means they're matched, but no one has started reviewing the household for eligibility yet. Pending in process means the agency has started reviewing the household for eligibility. There's also the days since they've been on the queue, their last updated date. And then these last few columns you can see, this is information that your agency entered on the specific housing opportunities. So what SPA the opportunity is associated with, if it's for families, individuals, TAY, or veterans, and you can see all that here. So these are all your matched clients, so you'll be able to review them easily and hopefully update those matches as much as possible. And then just a reminder, if you do want to update that match, you would take the client's ID and go back to the training site. If you want to approve the match, you just have to, I'm not going to put that ID in because I think it's a real client, but you just select your client and enroll them into whatever your housing project is. So for example, this rapid rehousing project, you would enroll them and then that will accept them into your project. And then if you need to deny them, you would go back to the referral screen. Let me change my agency. You would go to the pending tab under referrals for your agency. You would select the client, or you can search for their ID if you need to, and you would change their status to denied in order to deny that match. So this report is available now in the live site. And if you have any questions about that report, you can submit a ticket for that. Any questions about that one? All right. Heather.
Okay, good morning. Today I'm going to talk to you about a new tool developed by BitFocus to use on the Clarity HMIS called the APR Submittal Preparation Dashboard. So it was designed to find common errors with enrollments which might cause you problems when submitting APRs. This will benefit any agency that receives COC funding and that must submit an annual performance report. And the best part about the tool is that you'll be able to detect and dynamically change any client enrollments with errors directly from the report. I'd like to note that this will not replace the HMIS data quality report. That report will continue to provide insight into field-specific data quality problems. Okay, next. So I'm going to jump into a quick demo to show you how to run this report. Hey, Erin, can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. Whoops. Looks like I'm still disabled.
Okay, try again.
Okay, there we go. Okay, hopefully you can see this. So this tool is available on both the live and the training sites, but this demo is conducted on the training site, so all the information you see is fake. So after logging in, you'll go up to the Launchpad and click Reports, and click on the Data Analysis tab, and then go to Built-in Reports. And you'll see APR Submission Preparation. and you select run. Now, because Looker does sometimes take a minute to run, I have this report ready for you to review. Okay, so this is the dashboard. By look and feel, this dashboard was designed to function like other interactive dashboards that you might have seen. It has a filters section at the top right here. It's 5 tiles and then a visualization. It's a sunburst graph. So before we discuss the data, I'd like to draw your attention up to the filters section. By clicking on the angle pointer by filters, you'll see a drop down that appears with some options. So here is where you would adjust your time range, your program name, and project type code if necessary. So the default here is 12 months, but you can make changes however you want. And if you click in this field, it will provide a list of programs for you to select from. Okay, just a reminder that your filters should match your APR project and dates. And for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to view all programs and project type codes. So let's look at the tile section. Each tile represents one of 5 target areas containing client errors. So these tiles relate to project exit, these tiles relate to project start, and then you've got one that relates to head of household. So to see the clients with errors, and you'll note this is again interactive, you click on the number in the tile. So let's take, for example, project start after project exit. So I click on the number, and again, I created the report in advance. You can make client level corrections here by simply clicking on an individual personal ID or even an enrollment ID. So I'm going to click on personal ID. I click Clarity Profile. And then we can change the errors in Spider-Man's client profile here. Okay. So let's go back to this report. And then as with any report, you can download these results by clicking on the download button right over here. Okay, we're going to go back to the dashboard. And the last part of this dashboard is this annual assessment graph. So it displays an assessment of the current status of data in the APR containing the following markers. So it has completed enrollments, completed out of range, and you'll notice the little box that pops up, a descriptor. There's a due in 30 to 60, 90 days, which we do not have on here. We have a past due, and then we have a due. So you'll notice in this example, I have 215 past due. If you wanted to see the detail information on it, you simply click in this red. So again, click on any of the graph to see the report of any of these errors. So it's that simple. The KB article will be listed in the meeting minutes, and a link will be provided in the presentation materials as well. Does anybody have any questions?
I am not seeing any questions. All right. So we got this is very cool. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. All right, so next up, Diana.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So we have a new contact form that we've added to our website. It is a printable contact form that is a complete mirror of the contact tab that is in HMIS. So we have this form available. So if you are using paper forms, you can print this out prior to adding a client to HMIS to keep for your own records. This form is not mandatory for intake, and this form will be available on the following link. I will be making some cosmetic changes to the form after this meeting, so please bear with me while I do that. The form will be available within the next hour, though. Okay, next, Erin. And thank you all for participating in the HMIS Part 2 training that we had this month in June. We do have links to the recording for the training and the slides. And as a reminder, if you did participate in the training, we do have a survey regarding the training. It would be very helpful to have feedback in general regarding this training. Okay, next. And then for this month, for our monthly training webinar, we will be doing Looker training on Thursday, July 29th at 10 a.m. You will need to register for this training, and we look forward to seeing you.
Adriana?
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. We have published an updated version of the client concern form, both in English and also Spanish. This updated version includes the list of all the agencies that are currently participating in the HMIS. There were also slight changes in the wording of the form, but for the most part, it remained the same. Those changes were just to make it more clear and to make it more accurate. You currently can find both versions of the form in the privacy forum section of our website, and you can find the link to that here and also in the meeting minutes. Please keep in mind that the list of the HMIS participating agencies can change pretty frequently and without notice. So we would encourage you to visit our website to have like the up-to-date list of the participating agencies. And you can also find the link to that here in the slides. And with that in mind, the concern form will be updated quarterly. We're going to do that on a quarterly basis to keep it updated with any changes in the list of participating agencies that might occur during the last quarter. Do you guys have any questions about this?
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. So on the same topic of the concern form, oh, please can you go back?
Sorry.
Sorry. On the same topic of the consent form, I just want to let you guys know that we have received an increased number of phone calls from clients directly, pretty much letting us know that they have had issues with the consent form with their agencies. And this is because in the actual form, we encourage clients to call us directly if they feel that the rights specified in the form are being violated. So we literally list our phone number there, the help desk phone number. But in most cases, what's happening is not that the rights are being violated per se. Rather, the issue seems to be that some clients are not really understanding the concern form. So just to give you an example, some clients might think that they cannot receive services if they don't sign the form or things like that. It seems to be there are things that are not very clear to them. So we would like to encourage you guys to make sure that the clients read the form, understand the form, or that you read the form to the clients and really make sure they understand everything and they're able to ask any questions that they have to you directly, anything that is not clear. So pretty much we would like to encourage you to have further conversations to ensure that they have the concern form really crystal clear and that they understand every single thing that they are signing on. Okay, so any questions about that?
And just to add, another scenario that we've come across a few times is the client thinks that they need to talk to us to change their data. If they think something has been entered incorrectly, they've contacted us a couple times to fix it. So that should also be done through the agencies, since the agencies have the relationships with the clients and kind of own that client record. So if they do feel like their data needs to be revised, please work with them on that and either, make those changes or work with them on why that isn't the case and the data isn't need to be corrected.
Awesome, thank you, Erin. Next, please. Okay, HMIS agency audits. As you guys know, we are in the middle of the 2021 HMIS agency audits process or season. And as a reminder, this year the audit process is going to be the same as last year. So it's going to be a virtual meeting between the agency administrators of each agency and the HMIS team, so some members of the HMIS team. We have already met with some agencies and we're still in the process of scheduling the remaining audits. So please expect an email from us to coordinate the date and a time that works for all. And about that, I just want to say thank you to all the agencies that have already met with us, and we look forward to meeting the rest of you. Questions about this?
I don't see anything.
Awesome, thank you, Sierra. And finally, Dropbox Clean. I'm pretty excited about this one. As you know, each agency shares a Dropbox folder with the HMIS team. So in order to share sensitive files, such as the HMIS documents or any data corrections. And we have been using this for quite a while. So I think it's almost a year and a half or something like that, or even more. So as a result, the folders are getting a little bit messy. And that's kind of like an understatement with all the files that we have been sharing, putting there back and forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all the files that we're no longer using or that we no longer need. So think of it like a spring cleaning, but not for, we could not do it in the spring because we're still working with HMIS, but now since that's finalized, we can do it in summer. So it's like a summer cleaning. And so what's the required actions for all the agencies? So we would like to ask you guys to check your agency folder and see if there's any file that you want to keep for your own records. And if you identify something that you want to save, please go ahead and download it and save it. You save your own copy outside of Dropbox. So you will have until Friday, July 16th to complete this review and save anything that you would like to keep. And starting the week of July 19th, we're going to remove all the files that are in Dropbox that are no longer in use. So also about this, we have created 2 different folders inside your own agency folder. So one is for the data quality corrections and the other is for the PPR corrections. And moving forward, we're going to share the corrections files in that respective folder. So we thought that this might be a little bit more organized. So in that way, it's easier to really identify which file is for what and to avoid kind of confusions, if you will. So the idea is to have subfolders for each topic and maintain the Dropbox folder organized. And in the future, when we are entering a HMIS season, again, we're going to create another folder for HMIS. So the idea is to have like everything organized by topics. So it's easier for both parties to understand what do we have there. Any questions so far?
We got a question for the Dropbox access. Would it be possible to have more than one person with access?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We actually every single agency administrator should have access to that. So Jessica, if you don't have access, we will need to revise that because every single agency admin that we have on file should have access to the agency folder.
So Jessica, if you can put in a ticket, we can do that for you.
Thank you, Jessica. And if there's anybody here that doesn't have any access, just let us know. Awesome, thank you very much.
All right, I am not seeing any other questions. Elizabeth.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. There are 3 updates from BitFocus that we would like to share with you all. It's the referral date column added, electric signature field validation, duplicate queue referral pop-up, and we will go into details in the next following slides. The referral date column added. A column is added to the completed, denied, and sent tab for the referral page. You can see in the example to the right, there's a red box that indicate that date. The date is the most recent date listed by default, and this is the date the client was referred to the community queue. Electronic signatures. So for this update, an alert will pop up for forms and pages that requires an electronic signature. You will not be able to proceed or save your progress without adding the signature and clicking save. You can see in the example to the top right, a message will pop up to ask you to provide the signature. This update applies to user policy, adding ROI to client record, client forms, and client program forms. Dublin Queue Referral pop-up. This message will pop up when in a case where a user attempts to make a referral to the community queue where the client already has a pending or pending in progress status. The user will receive this pop-up message to confirm if they would like to proceed to create an additional referral. And to the right, you'll see an example message that will pop up. The Data and Performance Management Committee will be meeting tomorrow, Thursday, July 8th at 1:30. And the topics that will be covered is data quality plan, emergency shelter project performance report. So please keep an eye out for our newsletter so you could review the data and join us tomorrow to discuss.
The email for this actually just went out right before this meeting. And for the data quality plan, we attached the draft plan as well as some documents associated with it. So if you're planning to attend the meeting tomorrow, please review those and come with your feedback. All right. All right, so that was all of our agenda topics for the day. We do have a little bit of time for some Q&A. If anyone has any burning HMIS questions that they would like us to discuss or do a quick demo on. Otherwise, we will wrap up. So I'll hang out for a couple minutes in case anyone's typing. If you haven't already, please enter your agency name into the chat box so we know who is participating. And the next user meeting is scheduled for August 4th at 10 a.m. We'll send out the agenda the week prior. Following this meeting, we will also send out the meeting minutes, recording, and slides from this meeting. All right, I'm not seeing any questions coming in, so we're going to end the meeting. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and have a great day. We will talk to you next month.